We are live.
Hey family, Jinx Proof, beautiful Miss Rose here. We got Duke Diamond with us today. We got Dung Beetle with us today. Pedro, Rick, Frenchy Cannoli, Dizzy, and Dizzy. I'm sorry, Dizzy. I was having a brain fart there. So yeah, we're here. We had a little technical difficulty, so we got Frenchy Cannoli on the phone. You can't see him, but he is here with us. We're basically here to promote a show we got coming up in San Francisco on December 16th. It's Frenchy Cannoli's second Christmas bash, so to speak. We'll be having, actually, let's get Frenchy on and tell us a little bit about what's going to be going on with the show, French. Can you guys hear me?
Can you hear him okay, Frenchy? He was asking you what's going on with this event.
Yeah. But when you talk to me, I really get it perfect. Otherwise, there is it bounces the sound a bit.
Okay. All right. So I'll just ask the questions for Jinx. So he's talking about the San Francisco event that's coming up with Eventbrite and the thing that you guys are putting on. So he just kind of wanted you to talk a little bit about that and expand on that.
It's like we started to do that last year to have an event where there would be no sales, no booth, just an event where you would come, smoke, and enjoy the company. So last year we did that for a little boy who had a stroke at 4 years old to help the family, and this time it's for you guys. Autism is something that is really hard for the parents. As a dad, I feel it. It's like I feel so lucky to have had a daughter in perfect health that it's something I cannot share, but I can help the people who have more difficult reality educating their kid. Is like, I don't know. Like, when I see the picture from Jinx and Miss Rose, these kids look so bomb. I mean, it's amazing to look at. He live in another reality, and it's really getting the way to connect, because they may have a lot to bring us, because there is many reality. You know what I mean? It's like they may see stuff that we really would need to understand, and there is not enough research and understanding about it for us to really comprehend the scope of the planet those kids and adults are living in. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And we appreciate that you're coming on board and doing this, hosting this charity event. It's going to be an awesome event. If anyone is looking to help out with the event, you can either buy a ticket. You can also donate any original artwork and, send me a picture of what you're willing to donate. And we're going to be doing many auctions through the eBay. We have a link on my Instagram page. Also, you can, while you're at the show, we will have raffles and giveaway items. So we're looking for companies that are willing to give items such as a nice hoodie or nice products. They can be cannabis related for the raffle, but for the auctions on eBay, they're not cannabis related. So if anybody wants to donate anything, just contact me, and we'd love to see what you have to offer. And we appreciate any offers. Thank you.
Yes, we've had some nice, some badass glass blowers step up too. Hondo, well, you all know who Hondo is. Salt's a very successful, very well-known glass blower. Brian Dosher. So those guys are going to be donating some glass pieces that will be a silent auctioning at the show too. And I believe the event will be catered. Is that correct, Frenchy?
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's all a question of educating people and connecting. I think it's like that's why the getting tablets and stuff like that. It's amazing, because if we can use technology to connect at a deeper level, when you have a mean to converse, everything change.
Absolutely.
Because you can understand each other. You know what I mean?
Yes. not all, but a lot of autistic kids do not speak or are very limited on their speech. That's actually what Frenchy's talking about. With Northwest Families for Autism, the 501c that Rose and I run, a big part, we'll help any kid with anything we can, but a big part is we supply iPads to these children, and the iPad comes with a program, and you open the program up, and it's a bunch of stock pictures that are in there, but they can also add pictures. Like they can take a picture of Rose and add it to those pictures, and those kids can type those pictures into a sentence, like, I'd like to see Auntie Rose, or I'm hungry, or somebody hurt me at school today, or anything that we need to know. And they can type. Once they push those pictures, they can push a button that the computer will say that for them. And the nice thing about that is a lot of autistic kids tend to mimic. So after a while, they start saying those sentences themselves. My son used to come up to me, I want chicken nuggets, through his computer. Now he just walks up and says, I want chicken nuggets. You know what I mean? So it's if you have a child that doesn't speak, that's a pretty big deal to you and him or her. It's pretty amazing. There's so many things I never would have heard from my son without this program and that computer. So it's pretty magical to us and the people that get it.
And it's not just, and we also help any special need kid that can't really speak or has difficulty with the language. And we've helped children that, were hearing impaired, absolutely. And the same thing, just because you can't speak doesn't mean you can't read.
Yeah.
So, these kids can read and write, they just can't get their ideas out. So this definitely gives them a platform to reach the whole entire public. It can be in any language you choose.
Yeah, we run under the name autism, but a kid in need is a kid in need. What Miss Rose was talking about, we actually supplied 4 iPads to a family because they have 4 kids, and every one of their kids is 100% deaf. Only 1% of the entire planet speaks sign language. 1%. Can you imagine just being locked in your own little world? Now these kids have iPads. They don't even need the picture program because they understand how to type. They understand language. They just can't hear it. So now these kids, anywhere they go, they can talk to people aside from each other. It was pretty damn special. It was pretty cool.
They're special people. They're just very different. It's like they speak a different language. They see stuff different. It's like this is something that literally they may be teacher in of a different level of consciousness, because that's what they truly are. It's maybe difficult for us to really handle it, but I don't know. It's like I've not really known many kids or person like that, but the very few I've seen is that it's quite impressive in a certain way. It's just that it's just different. Yeah. It's like an alien, another planet, and you don't have the mean to really access the data on each side. That's all there is to it. In fact, you know what I mean. The non-connection, it's very much verbal, or an exchange of data. If it's not verbal, written. But as soon as there is exchange, you can understand each other. You can have a perception of the other person reality, and then it click, and then you can progress for them. But it's like, as long as we don't try to, how can I say that? It's like to show respect in a certain way for the being they are. Yes. And show respect for something that is strange and alien, like diversity between different religion and different people of color. It's a little bit the same. It's just going that extra way to be able to understand each other, because there is a lot to learn.
Yes, and beside the speaking program, it also allows the child to take photos and videos of their life, which we have found very important for ourselves in our life, for our son, to express what his interests are, to show you pictures of. And it's interesting to see that things that we assumed his behaviors were because he wanted something in particular. Since he's at his iPad, we found we were very off on the cues that he thought he was giving us physically or through sounds he was making, and realized we were way off. He's really schooling us on him since he's had the iPad.
Yeah, and a lot of autistic kids, for some reason, just seem to be super computer savvy too. Like he shows us how to use that thing. He can use it 100 times more than we can. I don't even know how he figures it out sometimes, but he sure does. Whether it's YouTube or Google Maps or anything, it's incredible. So it gives them something to do too. So aside from the whole talking app. But what I asked Frenchy earlier was, I don't think you heard me, was this event is actually catered. So it'll be a nice dinner. Frenchy's going to have an open hash bar there. Like he said, there's no kind of sponsors. Like there'll be nobody there selling anything, or like sponsorship booths or stuff like that. It's more going to be more of a personal party, get to know each other. Nice dinner. Kyle Cushman and his wife will be there. Duke Diamond's going to be there. These guys should all be there. So it'd be nice to rub elbows with some other people maybe you wanted to meet, or, this would be interesting to meet. So hopefully that'll be a good deal for everybody too. So
I was just gonna say, look at the little guy behind you. He back there playing with DVDs, Frenchy. You should see it. It's funny. No, so I think kind of what he was saying too, Frenchy, was he was talking about more like that it'll be catered and just its style of event, and I think that was kind of hard for you to hear, but yeah, it is going to be catered and whatnot, right?
It's going to be kind of catered. It's a huge buffet. We didn't really pick the theme yet, but it most certainly something Persian. So there is a huge table of food and a huge table of smoke. And people smoke and eat open table. And it's more relational and enjoying a good time and good products than anything else. You know what I mean? It's bringing people together, and if to bring them for fun, it's cool. But if we can make something positive out of it, it's even better, because everybody feel like they're part of doing something good. So it makes the event really, really nice. I mean, it's something that I really enjoy doing, because of all the repercussion it had on everybody in a certain way. Not only the people who organize or receive, it's everybody feel like it's part of doing something for a cause. Huh?
So I believe we're working on, I believe we'll have a DJ there too, so it'll be a little musical entertainment as well as the food and the hash bar. But I'm going to back up a little bit and show you guys. This here is Junior's iPad. See all those pictures there? That's just a sample of them. There's hundreds and hundreds of pictures here. Like I say, he can add his own pictures here. And we can talk.
I want chicken nuggets.
Do you like that?
I want chicken nuggets.
So he can ask me for chicken nuggets. He can tell me he wants to go to the store. Like I say, he can tell me important stuff, like maybe somebody hurt him somewhere, or he wants to visit his uncle, or, it's endless. If you can think of it, you can take a picture and put it in there if it's not already in there. And it is a game changer. It is, my favorite part is when we go drop the iPads off. It's incredible,
And yes, of course, everyone who donates, by whether they donate items or buy a ticket and come to the show, it's only because of all you that this is able to happen. And, we're so thankful that people are so giving, and when they can, I mean, sometimes we'll get an envelope in the mail and it has $2 single in it. And, I'm sure that was a big sacrifice for whomever sent that, and we appreciate that. So yeah, it all adds up, it all counts, and it's awesome to have all your support. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, we used to work with the different community before I was a breeder and before I started working with Subcool and stuff like that. We would hit up businesses, corporations, people with just mega money. And it was so hard. It was squeezing blood from a turnip. But I gotta get on Instagram and, throw up a pack of seeds or just ask people to donate this medical marijuana, whatever marijuana community you want to call it. It is so giving. It is so awesome. The first 2 School of Danks we did, we raised $30,000 a show. you know, so people could come sit down, learn how to grow their weed and party. You know, it was no big deal. It was, you know, it was nothing major. Nobody left with a bunch of free stuff or anything like that. And, you know, within a year and a half, we raised $60,000, and it was incredible. You know, nobody in our charity gets paid. We're a legal 501c. Even legal 501cs, you know, like the CEO of Salvation Army gets like $8 million a year or something like that. Like nobody gets paid. And that's pretty awesome to see all these people come together like that and truly care. You know, we've made some damn good friends from it too. You know,
For sure.
so some family. That's for dang sure. So,
This community better stick together because we are facing some serious odds. So it's like all those community groups that tie people together are super important.
absolutely.
Behind the main reason for making them, it's like it's starting to trust and understand each other and sticking together, because it's going to be an economic war on us, like coming seriously.
Yeah. You know, and it's cool to bond through this community. Like you get together, a little party, and show each other your bud and stuff, and it's pretty cool. But you get together and go help a kid, the bond is so much stronger. It's so much deeper. It's hard to even put into words. To tell you the truth, like I said, you know, I've made some friends through Instagram, you know, that are my brothers now. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, I kill for them. You know, just awesome people. Just, you know. It's like I say, it's hard to put into words, but it's incredible.
And we made those bonds through people who would just show up at our Dank Tank store, and we had it, and bringing donation items to help at the local youth shelter or the food bank, and they would just show up with stuff, and that's how we met so many of our close friends that we have now.
Yeah,
it's been awesome.
I put out a shout out one time for this kid who, a lot of autistic kids, like my son eats like 3 things, period. He'll starve to death. You don't give him things. He don't care. He will straight starve to death. He don't care. Try me. You know what I mean? Like, but so I put up this stream. This kid would only drink V8 Fusion. Without V8 Fusion, he will dehydrate to death. He don't care. He don't want soda. He don't want water. He wants V8 Fusion. So I put up a shout out, and this cat farmer Jeff shows up, and his car is full of V8 Fusion. I mean, to the roof. He couldn't even see where he was driving. And while he was standing at the store, people were like, "What's up, bro? You love some V8 Fusion?" He's like, "Actually, I'm helping a kid." So those people turned around, went and got cases. Like, I mean, he had to drive to my store like this, you know, V8 Fusion falling in his face. You know, it's like, it was so awesome. That, you know, me and that guy have become just complete, absolute brothers. You know, not just, I mean, that's how we met, but that's not why. You know, it's just because he's such a good dude, and we vibe on each other. And, you know, I call that guy right now and ask him for something. He'd be on his way. You know, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. I really love it.
Yeah, I was going to kind of bring up a little bit of a point too, because I didn't know this until last night, but I was talking with Duke last night, and he started to tell me a little bit about what he does, and he actually works with autistic kids a shit ton here in Colorado, and like that's what made me call you last night, Jinx. I was like, "Yo, I gotta make this link," you know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
I mean, you guys both have the same mindset when it comes to that, and it's really awesome to see. I'm blessed to have both y'all in my life for sure. But
yeah.
I know.
I'll just straight warn you, be careful, because doing this is crack for the soul. It is, it is addicting. You know what I mean? It's, there's times we almost neglect our own life trying to help other people out, because it's just so fun. It's so magical. It's, I don't know how to put it into words aside from calling it crack for the soul. You know what I mean? It's just, it's so awesome, you know? So it's pretty neat. But, so, anyways,
the event, just to remind you guys, the event is on December 16th, and it is in San Francisco. You can buy tickets on eventbrite.com. Just put Frenchy in the search, and it'll pop up the event. Frenchy, we wanted to ask you, do you have any other upcoming events that you're going to be at, lectures you'll be teaching?
Sorry?
She said, do you have any upcoming events or lectures that you're going to be doing or teaching at here coming anytime soon?
I'm trying to make a workshop on a monthly basis. And I have decided that now it would be only in San Francisco. because it's already hard for me to dedicate a day or two. It's really hard when I have to travel, and I travel with that 15-gallon stainless steel machine and all the equipment. It's a little convoy if I take the car. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm trying to do it only in San Francisco. It's monthly. I usually post the event a month ahead of time on IG. And truly, I'm actually not sure how long I'm going to be able to do that. It's difficult to try to get into that legalization and make opening a legal processing business and teaching at the same time. At home, I can manage it. Otherwise, it makes it really difficult. But at the same time, it's something that has taken a huge part of my life. Subcool kind of put me into it very sneakily and nicely, and I've been enjoying it much more almost than making hash to a level. You know what I mean? And so it's like it became so important for me. In my life, I'm trying to balance both. And now traveling, I went to Morocco for a little bit. I had not been there since '79, and it's like it gave me a bigger view of the cannabis community in a certain way. It's like I've been away for so long. All I know come from this producing country. I understand really well that we're going to have a world market very soon, and those countries are going to be a big player in the game. But I had lost touch with the reality of what is a producing country, and to see that in Morocco, in the middle of the Rif Mountain, the owner of some farm have an understanding of the world market that is opening, and they know that as long as it's illegal, they have a good edge because they can basically put anything they want on the market. But they know that with legalization, they're going to have to compete on quality. And they're already taking the step to get there, which is amazing because when you look at the investor here in America, people who are ready to invest millions of dollars in the industry, they have no understanding or even.
I can't hear him anymore. Can you guys hear me?
We lost him. Dung muted himself.
Yep, I was gonna say, okay, Frenchy, I apologize. The last second you didn't get heard.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I mean it's quite amazing to see that people investing here in California do not have that knowledge of a world market coming and what the competition would be, and what has to be their position to face competition and the future. Is like it's not by growing swag in quantity that you're gonna be a big player on the world market. That's for sure, because there is producing countries that have been producing quantity for centuries. I was in a farm in Morocco. One of the farm, it's only 800,000 plants.
Only.
And the guy has 3 farms like that. You know what I mean? It's like it's amount of plant and resin that is a little beyond our understanding here. Our only edge on the world market, it's our quality. It's our genetic and it's our terroir. It's the land, the climate, and the know-how of the farmer. If we don't protect, nurture, and work on creating a niche for the US cannabis industry in the world market, it has to be on quality, because you have everything that the wine industry in Bordeaux had to create the billion-dollar wine industry they created and being relevant 200 years later. You know what I mean? It's like, do you want to mass produce, make quantity, and you're going to have a hard time selling it because competition are going to be big? Or do you want to become the center of the universe, the Bordeaux and the France of the cannabis industry? That's the choice. Even the big boy have to face. As a small farmer, we have no choice but to do quality. But the big boy, they are facing the same choice, but they don't know it. That's a problem for them.
Yes.
Did we lose Rick?
No, I think Rick just walked off. He'll be back. He's still here though.
All right. Is there a way we can? I can't see the comments. I can only see what we're writing each other back and forth.
I see.
Yeah, so you can go into YouTube, Jinx.
Never mind. Rose has got it.
Yeah.
Got it up right here. Okay. Well, while we got a little break, I got a number written on this, the back side of this piece of paper here. The first one who can guess what it is down there in the comments is going to get a free pack of 9-pound hammer.
Between what? Is it going to be between 1 and 1,000 or between?
1 and 100.
All right, go people.
All
Let's
right.
watch chat, Pedro. You know how this goes.
I'm not sure what number I'm looking for, though. That's the problem.
Oh, Jinx, put the number in the internal chat for us. Type it to us in internal chat so we know it.
It's right here.
All right.
Oh, there goes flying.
Catch it.
Oh, I already found it. Someone said it first. That was the first number guessed. Yeah.
Literally, like the second number guessed.
Yeah, rigidly genetic. Got it.
Dead serious.
Incredible.
Second number
All right.
guessed.
Well, who was it? Did you catch him?
And actually, it was guessed. That was weird. That was like the highest number guessed right there. Nitro Nomad, happy to grow. Yeah, but the one that wins it is Rigid Leaf Genetics.
All right. Just
There was a lot of people that guessed that.
DM me on Instagram.
Me.
DM Miss Rose or me on Instagram, and we'll get that out to you. We'll get your address and stuff like that. Man, that was cool. I figured it was going to take at least 5-10 minutes.
Oh, and along with that, you get some slaps.
Nicholas Peel said, "Shit's rigged, son."
What I was trimming a little bit ago, that's 88 G13 hash plant.
Oh, dude, I'm coming up to press some of that tomorrow. No doubt.
Eight's my favorite number, so I'm going to have to try something a little different next time.
That's funny. Yeah, definitely. Go outside the box. All right, let's do, if you want to take a couple more, Jinx, I agree with you. Let's do like a few minute break. I'm going to grab another coffee, and then I'll figure out what's going on with Rick. Frenchy, you can hear me too, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Cool. So we're just going to take a couple minute break, and we will be right back.
All right.
Perfect.
That's a question.
It says rigged. I don't see any numbers. So there. It was behind. I'm up to date now.
Was it who was
Farmer Joe. I think it's all three ones. Okay, so I found it. I just want the tab. I don't know this.
Those are comments and questions. You should be able to see a whole list of them, though.
I know.
Jinx, Rick just called me, brother. Will you tell him that my phone's on with Frenchy and I've got it, or I'll grab my house phone. I got it.
I'm trying to see. I can't see it all.
Is there a way on YouTube to see all the questions? We can only see like one at a time. I guess everybody's gone.
Okay, let me click out of it.
No, I'm still here. Sorry. I had to put some eye drops in.
We have our.
It's doing it now.
Okay, we fixed it. Never mind.
Okay.
If there's any questions, let me answer that.
I'm going through them.
Yeah. While we're on break, Miss Rose reading the questions because we don't really need to take a break. We're just gonna sit here anyway. So, if there's a question you need to answer, we'll answer now.
People are asking right now, is this a regular thing on Wednesday nights?
No.
Every other week, right?
We're gonna shoot for every other week. It always kind of boils down to our schedule. We're pretty busy. Sometimes we have events to get boomy to. That's what we call juniors, boom boom. So it just kind of depends, but we're definitely going to shoot for every other night. We do have some people that have committed to being guests, and they're pretty awesome people. That's going to get pretty exciting. So.
Jeff didn't even have to his name license. I know I can buy it.
Huh?
He's saying,
Question, that's an answer. You all right there? You ready for a nap?
Yeah.
There's a lot of typing just now. I'm tired.
Okay, so someone on chat did ask. This is the biggest thing.
Yeah, we answered that.
Did he answer it in here?
If they're watching, they can hear it.
No, we're not live right now.
Are we not live now? Can people watching this see this?
No, we are. We are
Can still
live.
see us,
Chat can
yeah.
see us. We're still
Okay, I thought so. So
fully engaged.
I see Junior hopping around in the background.
So yeah, I guess if anybody have any questions specifically, tag us, one of us, Maz, and we can get that to Jinx or to Miss Rose or to Frenchy or whomever we need to get it to. But I'm trying to put the chat in just a little bit of a direction here.
Hey, why don't we see who's out there? We can do another giveaway. Come on.
all right, let's set aside the hammer here since that's already been done. Okay.
I know, good one.
All right.
Do the hammer.
I'm writing down another number. It's gonna be between 1 and 100.
Pedro, I'm gonna knock it in here.
And
All right, perfect.
this time we're doing a pack of Hit Girl. Probably my favorite strain I've ever grown. It's definitely the most chronic. Actually, sometimes I avoid the strain because it's too chronic. It makes me feel like I'm all dabbed out or something.
What's the parameters again? 1 through 100?
1 through 100, Hit Girl, which is blood rec times 9-pound hammer. Start writing in your numbers.
Got it.
Bam.
Dang!
Dusty roads.
Dusty
One
Road.
of our mods, Dusty Roads.
That's funny.
All right, make sure you
2 is the number.
PM either me or Miss Rose, and we'll get that out to you. Pack of Hit Girl. That went quick. I thought this was gonna need up some time.
Okay.
No, they usually don't, man. Especially when you've got a lot of viewers. I don't know how many viewers we have right now, but people eat these up. They go. You see chat. They just type in as many numbers as they can. It's crazy.
Make it longer if you say 1 to 1,000.
Yeah, right.
Might have to rate
That
it
makes it-
1 to 500.
Yeah.
That makes it crazy. I know. Holy cow!
That's cool to watch, though, huh? I told you it was going to cruise.
Oh, it does. It does.
Here's a question. There's a question for Frenchies. Hey, Dung, are you back?
Yep, I'm back.
Okay, there is a question on here for Frenchy.
Okay.
Um,
This one's for you, Frenchy.
it goes by here so fast, but they were asking about hash, the maturation of hash, the maturity of the hash. They wanted someone to talk about that a little bit. I'm not sure what they were asking.
Okay, like hash maturity or maybe curing hash or something like that, Frenchy, is what they were asking.
That's the question.
The thing is, technically speaking, you don't cure hash, you age hash. You cure the resin before you collect it and press it and make hash. Or there is no producing country in the world that do not wait 3 to 9 months before they sieve to collect the resin and make hash. The only place in the world where they don't always do that, it's in Afghanistan, and they collect the resin when the plants are just dried. But instead of curing it on the plant, they put the resin in sheep or goat skin and keep them underground for 6 months.
Wow.
That would be considered curing resin. Otherwise, if you keep your resin in the fridge, you don't cure. You protect your resin, you preserve it. It's like you for a curing to happen, for the resin to really transform, for the terpene to bound together, do that polymerization, that bounding of polymer. You need certain conditions for it to happen. You know what I mean? What I do, I edge the resin. Once I press it, when I press those little droplets of resin that are protected in a membrane, when I explode all those membranes and I make a mass of resin with those membranes contained into the mass, there is a strong chemical reaction happening into the mass of resin, something that has never been studied yet. And after 2 or 3 weeks, the resin literally absorb any small contaminant to a level that was in its mass. When that whole process finished to happen, the resin stabilize, and then you can edge. And every step of that stabilization and then edging, the level of quality reached higher plateau.
Okay, and someone also asked, how would you fill the vape cartridge with the hash? How would you get that in the vape cartridge? Or does it work?
Sorry.
Ask me that again one more time, Ms. Rose.
I was asking, how would they load the hash into the vape cartridge?
Ooh, she said, how do they load the hash into a vape cartridge?
There is no vape cartridge for hash.
No, you would have to really suspend it down into like some PG or some BG, huh?
You would have to dissolve it. It wouldn't be hash anymore.
Okay. All right.
An extraction, it's very much like extracting the juice from a fruit. The juice is a fruit, but the juice will never contain all the nutrition, the potential of the fruit. You know what I mean? So when you extract the resin from its containment, the membrane, from everything that actually created the magic of producing those cannabinoids, you take something huge out of the equation. And that's why the products are radically different. Even the experience, the buzz itself, smoking hash, it's not quite like smoking any other extract.
Well, Frenchy, what about the old school hash oil? Like when I was a kid, you know, before BHO or, you know, Roz or any of this stuff, the only hash you got was these little brown blocks. It was usually from another country. But once in a while, you'd get a little vial of hash oil. What was that made out of, you suppose?
Sorry, I didn't catch the
One more time, James.
Oh, when I was a kid, before BHO or any of that, like, you know, like in the early 80s and stuff, the hash was a real treat. Like, it was really super hard to get, to come by. And it was always from another country. And it was like a little brown bouillon, you know, you could tear a little chewy piece off. But every once in a great while, you'd also get hash oil come in a little glass vial. It was always really very strong. We'd usually like drip it on top of a bowl or something like that. I'm curious, you know, how they were doing that back in the day before all this CO2 and, you know, extraction machines and stuff. That's something you know about.
It's very difficult to be able to understand the quality that is made in producing country if you don't go not only in a producing country but deep inside the producing place to be able to really get the quality. And the highest quality, it's not for sale. If you want it, you make it yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you have to think that you are 10,000 kilometers away from the producing place. It's like you're not gonna. They don't export the quality. So it would be the same than for me buying some Californian weed in Spain or France and buying swag and thinking that nobody can grow weed in California. You know what I mean? It's like the quality is there, especially in country where there is a long tradition of hashish smoker, not like in Morocco, for example, which is really the latest kid on the block. The culture is strong. These people have been smoking hash for generations, for hundreds of generations in their family. So it's like basically the respect that they will give you, it's depending on your knowledge of resin and your judge according to that. And in a certain way, I realized years later that all those people hosting me for months, letting me do whatever I want with with their stuff. I wasn't a big customer. I was just making some hash for myself to smoke for the year, like 3-5 kilo maximum. Staying months living with them. It's like it goes. They basically take you under their wing and give you as much knowledge as they can in their own way to share the beauty of the cannabis resin. I don't know how to explain it because most of those family, I didn't have half a dozen words in common. You know what I mean? So it's like there is a level of conversation that you definitely miss. And when it happened to you, I was young and not really very conscious of what was happening for me. Quite the opposite. And it's like I accepted that as something, as a due almost, because that was my life. And but at the same time, it's like later on I realized how much those people were actually giving me and sharing with me. And this came much later when I actually started to teach. And so I had to go back in time to basically try to learn what I was learning working alongside them during those years. And through that, people asking me, so how did you do it? And then it made me really thought about the relation I actually had with these people and how deep it was. And that I didn't realize when I was young because I was totally clueless. You know what I mean? Even if I really appreciated the gift, I didn't really understand the depth of it. So that's why for me now to share knowledge and to be able to give to the next generation what I learned or go back in a producing country and to be able to teach them better than what they teach me, it's very, very, very important. And I can't thank Sub enough him and Miss Jill to have put me on that way because it truly changed my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. You got to go full circle.
Mm.
We have a question for Duke Diamond here. Where'd it go? Question for Duke Diamond.
We talk about
We talk about Ghani, its history, and in America, and why it's so important to breeding. To be breeding, I guess.
I think they mean the Afghani, right, Duke?
Yeah. Good old Ghani. Well, it kind of became like a big staple back in the day because you were able to get good structure. You were able to get a faster flowering time. You didn't have to really be so worried about one particular smell or flavor because it would kind of vary a little bit region to region, highland to lowland. And they were pretty rock solid. You know, you didn't get a lot of hermaphroditic problems. Yields were always good. So you saw a lot of that going into a lot of things that were particularly like sativa dominant stuff that was like great smoke. But as cannabis evolved, you know, those really bad structures, you know, like it wasn't long ago, Bodie put up pictures of some, you know, really weighing race sativa stuff. And, you know, where guys like us are looking at it, we're like, hey, that's beautiful stuff. Like, wow, you know, we're really impressed with it. All these new kids were like, oh, why are you posting up bullshit bunk? That's like ditchweed. That's like meds. And they don't understand, like, you know, a lot of what we have today is coming from there. And they're not understanding the potency that's in that stuff they're calling swag will give you a damn panic attack and put you in the dirt. So for those things to become more acclimated to, say, growing in America as you know, as opposed to, say, Nepal or somewhere in South Africa, hybridizing would have to take place in order for it to finish during your outdoor season. So Afghani kind of became a staple to start outcrossing into some of these strains because like Durban poison's probably one of the biggest ones. Like if you buy Durban poison from a Dutch seed bank and grew it and smoked it, what pretty much everybody knows is Durban. That's not really Durban. If you were to go to South Africa, you would see like these aren't big, chunky, thick buds here. They're kind of sparse, and the smell and taste is way, way different. Now they're super ridiculously potent and they finish pretty quick, but for typical people nowadays, they wouldn't grow it. They'd be very disappointed. So Neville and the boys back in the day were taking Yanny, pollinating the Durban, and then doing another selection from there, and back crossing and out crossing into sativas again to maintain the sativa of it, but kind of fix floral structure, calyx to leaf ratio, finishing times and stuff. So a lot of the smells that you get in like Dutch Durban, I really equate more to Afghani than anything. So there's that, and then also when they were making indica hybrids, looking to make very narcotic things, it naturally goes along with that because you get the good hardcore, good punch stone, and then Afghani just pure by itself is just amazing, and it's one of my favorites and always has been. So it really was just such a well-rounded thing, and they're not particularly finicky plants. I do have one old clone that's like, it's not really finicky, but like with the newer lighting technology, I noticed it hates super bright light. So we actually have to like dim back lights on it to make it happy. But other than that, I mean, they don't really require so much food because where they're from too, like it's very rich in, a lot of elements like calcium and magnesium and iron and, these minerals that are in the soil, but the soil isn't exactly fertile. So you could kind of go like with a low and slow feeding regimen, and just as long as, a lot of the minerals were up high, it finished fantastic. So like I said, it was just all around a winner, and then the hash making shit, forget about it, man. It's really good stuff.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Say that one more time, Frenchy.
Yeah, the sativa hash, there is nothing quite like it. I have a question actually. When you grow sativa like this indoor, would you tweak your humidity higher to mimic more a tropical climate, or you're scared of the PM and you play it at the same time at the same humidity that you do indica?
I normally like to kind of mimic like its roots, like where it comes from, and allow it to more thrive to that environment. And I even go as far as to try to mimic the light cycle of the area too. So like like 11-13 instead of 12-12, or further or a little bit less, or maybe gradual. I dim my lights down as everything kind of comes to a close. And then like I do notice a lot of that too, where they like the normal 75 to 80 degree daytime temperature. They really dig that 50 to 55% relative humidity, but certain strains really thrive with the nighttime temperatures dropping a little, whereas other ones seem to not like it so much. But typically with the Afghanis, they like that nighttime temp to drop down nice and cool, a little humidity to come up, and then in the daytime for that humidity to drop back down, and they seem to really thrive in that, as well as I started adding more circulation around the root zone too, and just to keep that temperature that slight bit cooler to kind of mimic that cold day and night thing, and that made them like blow out even like a whole nother level. So I think deep down in their roots, even after they've been hybridized a little, that you can still kind of curve back to their original roots, and that they thrive a little harder than that. I'll find my chart.
Okay.
That comment that Frenchy made kind of created a question for me for Duke or Frenchy, and that's that in the 502, that's what we call it here in Seattle. If you're a legal garden, it's called a 502. The 502s here, anything that starts to show powdery mildew, it instantly goes to hash oil. It instantly goes to blasting BHO. It instantly goes to a concentrate because they can't pass test with it and sell it. So I'm curious, like, if or what you guys know about that. Like, is that powdery mildew still making its way into that product? Is that bad, or do you think it's being killed during that process and that's just fine?
So powdery mildew is bad because your plant wasn't healthy enough to fight it in the first place.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like if the plant show any symptom or has been attacked by any predator, it's because the plant is not healthy enough. Now, dealing with powdery mildew, when you make ash, it's actually super easy because powdery mildew float and resin head sink. Already you have a separation straight up in your water. And then I use only 3 bags. My ash is 45 to 160. I have only 1 bag to collect all. And powdery mildew is much, much, much smaller than 45 micron. So because I wash very powerfully with a garden spray on a flat setting, I really powerfully move my resin on my bag, on my sieve to do the separation. And I personally have never been tested for it after knowing that I had spin material with PM. When you extract, it's the opposite. When you extract, you need a filter that is small enough to take it off your resin. You know what I mean? It's they separate also per size, but it's the opposite than me. They take it out by having a sieve that is smaller than the size of the powdery mildew to take it off the resin that they collect all together. First they collect, then they separate. I can separate from the beginning. It's much easier.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Are you ready for another number?
Oh yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do another number. This time it's between 1 and 500. So let's see how quick you guys can figure this one out. Go for it.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Meow. I had to do that. My cat was just in here too, and she actually unplugged my camera for a second.
While we're waiting on numbers, here's a small list of other shows either I and Miss Rose will be at. October 28th and 29th, we'll be at the Canagrow Expo in Denver. We'll be chilling with Growstone in their booth.
Yeah.
11/14 through the 5th.
11/4.
11/4 through the 5th, sorry. We'll be at the Salem THC Fair. We'll be just chilling in our own booth with Jinx Group Genetics. 11/11 and 11/12, we'll be at the SoCal Harvest Fest. We'll be there with Rosentech. And after that, of course, we'll be at the Emerald Cup also with Rosentech. So shout out to Rosentech for that. Oh, I guess we got more, my bad. December 9th and 10th is the Emerald Cup. And of course, December 16th will be the Frenchy Cannoli Christmas bash. So I'm sure hoping to see some of you there. It'd be nice way to connect and meet some Instagram family in person, stuff like that.
Yeah, this Denver shit's gonna be off the hook. Miss Rose, did I just hear that you're coming to see Dung too?
No. That was a teaser.
I know it. Yeah.
Honestly, I would come to every event if I could, but we only like to have our son with a sitter for as little period of time as possible.
Yeah. With a special needs son, it's really hard to find a babysitter because we really have to find someone we really truly trust 1,000. So usually either D-Range 420, Jake and Person, or my sister-in-law.
Or my
There's the winner.
Or his brother, yeah.
There's our winner.
Yeah, you're right. Go
Top
ahead.
shelf nug.
All right.
421.
That's it right there. So y'all know I wasn't just joshing with you. 421.
What did he win?
He won a pack of Tap Out.
I'm gonna go confirm, but that took a hot minute to get that number out.
Yeah.
No one's got them yet.
Hit me or Miss Rose up on Instagram, DM us, and we'll tell you how to obtain this pack for the winner.
We talked this yesterday.
Oh.
We're no strangers.
So,
there was another person who just asked how to get seeds at Miss Rose I Am Instagram.
Yeah, pretty soon we will. We have recently made a connection of a guy who pretty much supplies all the seed banks. He's a seed broker for seed banks. He's very successful. Some of the companies that are easy to find, it's because of him. And tell them you got to hit up Miss Rose. If you hit up me, that's fine, but I just bounce you over to her. So at Miss Rose I Am on Instagram is the only way to get Jinx Fruit Genetics right now. We are working on our own seed bank. We're in the process of loading the pictures and writing the descriptions. It takes a minute with all we got going on. So we will have our own seed bank. It'll be called Jinx Fruit Dank Bank. But until then, it's either Instagram or wait till we hook up our seed bank or this new supplier guy. Okay?
Yes. But for now, me. And of course, I have the best price. Once it hits a website, it's going to be slightly more expensive.
Yeah.
But through me, you'll always get the best deal if you want to deal with it in the United States.
Yeah. And she only charges $40 a pack. That's not shipping or any of that stuff. So. But we also currently represent exotic genetics too. So if you're looking for exotic genetics, you get that from us. And we also have some homegrown natural wonder seed packs also.
Duke, I have a question for you. Are you originally from down south?
Ask him what gave him that idea.
I don't know, brother. The funny thing is, people always ask me if I'm from the South, and I'm not. I was born in Sacramento, raised in Seattle. My pops was from Arkansas, so I think I inherited a little bit of his twang or something. But I get that question a lot. It's pretty funny.
It's genetic, man. I was actually going to ask if you were from Missouri. Pretty close, man.
It's usually during my nightly and daily messages that people say that I sound like I'm from the South, but when I was a tattooist, a lot of my customers would also ask me that. I guess I just get it from my pops and stuff,
Yeah.
Instead of saying Washington, he'd say Washington,
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm from like right around Richmond, Virginia.
Okay. All right. One of our best friends lives in Georgia. Yeah.
I've been to Richmond. I had a sister who lived there for a few years.
Did you? Where did you stay at? Did you live in the fan?
I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember. But I will tell you this.
Not her, her sister.
I don't know, her sister. I thought she said she did. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You wouldn't remember.
No, I lived in Georgia. No, actually, it was very conservative. I was surprised. I mean, this was back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere I went, women were all seemed in long dresses and skirts. It was different.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, it depends where you're at, too. Like, as an area, Richmond, it would have been the total opposite. It would have been like punk rock and tattoos out the yin yang. And it can change from one block to the next,
Uh-huh.
Weird place.
Yeah.
All right, for those watching, we're just going to remind everybody the purpose of this show is to announce that our upcoming show with Frenchy Cannoli, December 16th in San Francisco. The way to get tickets is you go to a website called Eventbrite. Eventbrite. When you get there, you'll find the little box for searching. Type in Frenchy, and it will show you the Frenchy Cannoli event. That's where you can buy tickets. Again, 100% of all money goes to Northwest Families for Autism. Nobody in our charity gets paid. None of the people who volunteered, product, anything like that. No money gets spent on that. So 100% of your money will go to help a child.
Perfect. And just to let you know, we are dropping links to Eventbrite and all of the event stuff that we have upcoming in chat. So you guys can get tickets or check out the events if that's what you'd like to do. But absolutely, we got you covered. And then just going forward, I really appreciate all of my mods. Thank you guys very much. I want to tell you thanks in advance because I know how it is. I know that it's quite a bit of work, and I really appreciate all of your help. The only thing I ask is that we all follow the golden rule. So just keep in mind, we want to roll with a kind heart, and we want to make sure that we always warn first, time out second, and then ban if you have to, but always give as many chances as possible. And please just roll with a kind heart, like I said. So thank you very much for your help. I appreciate y'all. Y'all rock for sure. And we're glad to have you aboard. Let's go on event.
For people watching this after the show, I'm assuming you're going to drop that entire link bank in the description of the show, correct?
Yeah, and actually I'm going to start dropping heavy right now. So you guys are about to get a ton of links before we go here, just so you have them all. But yeah, we'll just spam real fast, Pedro.
What happened to Rick? Did we lose Rick?
No, Rick's here. He's hanging out. He's been modding for me. He's doing chat and stuff. He just was kind of he's getting the feel for it, you know. So he's kind of just hanging out and paying attention this time. He'll definitely get coming in and a little bit more for sure.
Video's gone. It's just an ugly picture of him.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
Right up his nose.
I'm pretty sure he's there. I mean, he called me and we were talking, and he's in chat, so he's there in spirit.
I did get a random question on my sweetest peach OG. They wanted to know the pedigree on that, and that's a peach OG times cheese. The cheese is something I got from a friend, so I don't know the true, you know, what is East Coast cheese, this coast cheese, that cheese, whatever. It's just called cheese, but it's chronic, it's stable, so I bred it, and that's where the sweetest peach comes from. Sweetest peach is a limited edition. For one of my favorite things to do when breeding is to breed limited editions. They're you know, small to medium batches, and when they're sold out, I never rebreed them again. That's it. So for the hardcore collectors or the hardcore nerds out there, they tend to lean towards that. I've kind of got the collector gene in myself. I collect certain things and get all obsessed about it. So that's kind of where that came from. And it's kind of fun to have something that not everybody on the planet has. You know what I mean? Some of these strains, they're absolutely chronic, but they get so blown up, it just gets to the point where, like, who cares? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it becomes Budweiser or something. So that's where my my love for the limited editions comes from. So.
Yeah.
Have a question over there we got to answer?
There's actually a bunch of stuff inside. Do you have that script that I sent you, Jinx?
Miss Rose?
No,
He's going to pull it up in a second. Sorry for the lull.
Perfect. No worries. That has a ton of stuff right there. It's got questions that I already got for you from people.
Right. And we're not advertising the address of the event because there will not be tickets available at the door. We don't want to cause problems with that. A bunch of people waiting in line for tickets that are just not available. So I will say it's in San Francisco. When you get your ticket, you will get the address and all that, how to get your ticket, blah, blah, blah. So we're not going to post up the address just because events we've had in the past where we sold all the tickets in advance and there's a bunch of people waiting outside and it gets upset or turns into a sidewalk party, which is not cool with the people who own the building. You know what I mean? So there you go. If you want the ticket, make sure you get it while you can. I think we've probably sold about 20% of them so far. So, but, like I said, that'll be with Frenchy Cannoli. So it'll be a nice dinner, open hash bar. I think we're gonna have a DJ there. We'll have some other fun people. Are you gonna make it, Duke? You know? I can't hear him. You say yeah?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it out there, man. I know I'll make it out there because I'm coming to the Emerald Cup.
Okay. So
hang out after the Emerald Cup. I got a bunch of friends that live in NorCal, so I'll just hang out with them and annoy them.
All right. Come on down to meet Duke Diamond, Kyle Cushman, his wife will be there. I got a few other names in the game that I think are going to be there, but I don't want to plug it yet just in case they can't make it. Obviously, Miss Rose will be there, Dung Beetle will be there. I don't know. You going to be there, Pedro? You be able to make that? You and your lovely lady there?
Ooh, you gonna go?
I don't think he has his mic on.
You're muted, Pedro.
Oh no, that's okay. I'm sorry. I was really having a conversation back here with Dizzy. Honestly, we were talking about trying to make a loop to the Emerald Cup and see her kids and come back down to the event, and we were secretly making plans in the background.
In the background.
well, we hope you can make it for sure. It's going to be a fun event.
Is that the same weekend as the Emerald Cup then?
The weekend after.
It's the weekend after, yeah. That's what we were discussing.
Maybe we can hit the Emerald Cup and swing up to Washington to visit my children and then go back down and have some fun and support the autism cause.
You have kids in Washington?
I do.
Oh yeah, what town, if you don't mind me asking?
Battleground.
Oh, okay, that's kind of far, isn't it?
From us, yeah.
Yeah. It's a little far from us, but you're certainly welcome to come kick it with us. We got a guest room, and we'd definitely love to have you guys if you're going to be in this state anyways.
Oh, cool.
Thank you for your hospitality. Thank you.
Yeah, oh, that'd be a great time. Nice to meet you guys in person finally.
For
Can
sure.
I ask Frenchy a question while we still have him? Doug, can you ask Frenchy where people in California can find his product?
Yeah, I'll throw that in chat right now too. French, did you hear that?
No.
Where can people in California find your products? I'm about to put it in the chat too, but you can tell me.
I should put it in the chat. So you can find it at Organican in Santa Rosa, Barbary Coast, Apocetarium, and Medistrive in San Francisco. And then Bud and Roses, TLC, like the Jungle Boys place, New Amsterdam Natural, and From the Earth down in LA. And slowly, I'm opening in San Jose also, actually, Caliva, and soon Elemental Wellness.
Also at New Amsterdam Naturals in LA.
The question is how does Pedro get it in Colorado?
Right?
Pedro, you come to the event in San Francisco.
Yeah, right.
That's the only way I'm going to try Frenchy hash.
I just threw a big old list up there. It's kind of a mess, but that's everywhere you can get them. Elemental Wellness, Organican, Barbary Coast, Medithrive, Apothecarium, San Francisco, Caliva, San Jose.
Caliva.
Yeah, Caliva. Elemental Wellness, San Jose. Buds and Roses, LA. Oswego, LA. From the Earth, LA. New Amsterdam Naturals, LA. And TLC in LA.
That's about it.
That's about it. Perfect. I threw that in chat for you guys as well, so y'all just have it there too.
I did want to make a little mention of the Michigan Cup. It was I didn't get to join you guys there, but it turned out to be a happy event for the 9-pound hammer. So we were really excited about that. It was entered. It won Best Sativa by JD Farm Inc. is the farmer who put it in.
Best indica.
Best indica, first place. So we are very proud of Hammer hitting that first place.
I don't want to misguide y'all. You buy that thinking it's sativa, you're gonna be sadly disappointed.
You're in trouble. You're gonna be like Dung. You're not. Yeah, I love it, but only for bed.
It's the opposite of that. I understand that I don't want to mislead people. It wasn't my flower. It was a little local farm called Double Dutch Farms that grew it out and entered it, and super awesome people. It was really nice to connect with them, and obviously nice to see that it takes place. I didn't even know because I was so busy in my booth, and Dunn came up to me with a video of the awards. It was like, watch this. So it was a pretty big surprise for me too. So yeah, it's definitely exciting. I've been a little giddy ever since, I gotta say. It's pretty incredible.
I tried to make it cool for him, but it was pretty cool to walk up to him. He was in the middle of a conversation too, and I was like, bro, just stop. I was like, I'm sorry, I love you in person, but just stop right now. Look at this. It honestly took a few minutes for it to sink in too. Like, and it didn't sink in until we were walking over there, and then Jinx was like, dude, that really is like something cool, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, it is, bro.
It was funny. Homeboy had a booth, and he had a jar that had to been 2 feet tall and 1.5 feet wide, full of 9-pound hammer. By the time he got back to his booth, it was gone. Lined up to buy it. It was pretty cool. I gotta say too, I really enjoyed myself in Michigan. The follower base there, just the general public that I got to meet. It was a pretty awesome people. Everybody was super polite, super kind. It was really cool. Sometimes events can be a little crazy. Some of the people can be a little, out there and stuff. But Michigan was, it was chill. It was neat. So all y'all out there, shout out. Yeah. And of course, my shout out to Rosentech for letting me in their building and stuff. We're pretty small. We're small time. We don't own a warehouse or a big field. We're basement growers, and I can't afford $5,000 for a booth. You know how many packs of seeds I have to sell just to break even. So by them letting me in their booth and being so accommodating, it's really cool. And I've gotten to know those guys, and they're awesome folks. And like I said, they didn't hesitate when they found out I run a charity. They instantly threw up a press, which those presses are not cheap, for them to just give away like that. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
One last pack.
All right, I'm gonna write another number down. We're gonna do another giveaway.
We've got
here.
one last pack for giveaway.
I'm gonna let Miss Rose pick the number this time.
And it's mother tongue.
Yep.
1 in 500.
1 in 500. All right, go.
Put the number for us. Yeah. Ooh, clever. I like that, Rose. I like that.
Yeah. Nice low number. Oh, whoops, what? I'm probably lying.
Boom, right there. Greg R.
I did not think that they would have to pass.
No, wait, back that up. I lied.
Yeah, time out. Yeah.
Yep, my bad.
Jesse Stout, 500.
Yeah, yes, indeed. That was like right away.
You jinxed it, Dung.
Poor guy thinks he wants something. He's all
My bad. I apologize. No, it just scrolled so fast. I didn't see the first one. I saw the second one. They both happened so quick. And then I went back up to verify, and there was another one. I was like, oh, whoops.
All right, who was it?
Okay, so the real winner is Jesse Stout.
All right, Jesse, hit us up on Instagram. DM either me or her, and we'll put you in contact with how to get those seeds.
It's faster if you contact me.
Absolutely, because I'm just going to at her anyway. So,
Greg R., you can send me a DM on Instagram, and I'll get you some slaps and a little something or other, brother. So send me a DM. That's on me. I got you, my dude.
Well, he can DM me, and I can send him slaps too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I've got some of yours and Jinx's, and I'll put one of mine in there. And yeah, it's a good idea. So DM me and Miss Rose, and we'll get you taken care of. Greg R. and Jesse Stout.
Awesome.
Perfect. And then in that paper is anything else you guys want to cover over there, or questions?
I don't see. I'm looking at the paper.
Wanted to give a shout out to JD Farms. That's the homeboy who grew the 9-pound hammer from Double Dutch Farms. So JD Farms on Instagram. He's the young man that actually produced the flower. So shout out to that, brother. I'm super proud of you. Super stoked to be part of that.
People have been asking us if we have any upcoming new strains coming out on the Jinx Proof line. And so we do have.
Really sound positive, stirred up today. As you enter today, let it know. I don't need you to fix me. And you sure the fuck can't breathe.
Someone's playing one of my. Someone's on YouTube listening to one of my daily videos.
It's Frenchy.
No, I don't need you to fix me. I can't remember what it said.
That's funny. So, anywho, people have been asking what we're releasing next, and so that's up to you.
Well, next I have a garden full of limited editions. I got some good time in there. Somebody's taking over my speaker.
No, it's all good. It was a little bit of reverb. I
got a bunch of, not a bunch, but some batches of limited editions coming up. I've got Go Time in there. I've got my Firestorm in there.
We do have a new one that we're releasing probably at the Emerald Cup, which is going to be called Safety Meeting. It's electric watermelon times 9-pound hammer, and we're almost done with the test, and it's looking beautiful. So that should be released this fall.
Yeah, and the limited editions I'm doing, the male is actually going to be Dark Side of the Moon. I have this fat, super stanky, super hardy Dark Side of the Moon that I'm going to go ahead and throw in there with the Jinx Group Genetics and create some new limited editions. So after that, we'll really just be trying to get our regular stuff back on the menu. And when we started this, we didn't realize being such small farmers that they would sell out pretty quick. So everything that's not a limited edition, aside from 9-pound hammer, is sold out right now.
Except we have
Mother Tongue, yes. Go Time and Shangri-La are in the works, but they are sold out right now. So they're in the making now. So but one thing, like just listening that somebody blasted the video on there, I get a lot of people ask me about the daily videos. What's going on? I can't hear it. My speakers are going crazy. So, anyways, I get a lot of comments and compliments on my daily and nightly affirmations. My bonus son, Rose's son, took every video I've made, morning and night, compiled them and put them on YouTube. So if you're interested or you like those, you can actually go to YouTube and just watch hundreds of them.
Holy
I
shit.
didn't realize how long I've been doing it. It was almost 3,000 videos. And I mean, really, the way that started was I was sitting in my living room one day. I didn't know I was epileptic, and I went into a grand mal seizure. I stood out of my chair, started shaking, and all kind of terrible stuff. Thank God Miss Rose was there because I stopped breathing. She gave me CPR, called 911. It was a terrible ordeal. And, you know, my biggest concern as I was waking up at the hospital out of this event that just about killed me, like if she wasn't home, I would have died because I wasn't breathing. She literally had to give me CPR. It was not a cool event. So, but when I got home and saw my son, you know, I was just so thankful to be alive. It was like, where would he be without me? You know what I mean? So I was feeling overwhelmed by it. So I got on Instagram and I did a nightly video being thankful and positive. In the morning, I woke up and there was so many comments. You know, I didn't tell anybody I had a seizure like that. It was just a positive video. So there were so many comments and likes and stuff. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do another one this morning. So I did that, and same thing. And it just kind of snowballed into this signature of mine, if you will. So that's how that all started. It was kind of funny. It's funny now. If I don't have one up by like 9:30 at night, like we start getting letters. Like, is Jinx okay? Are you guys okay? What's going on? Like, people start to panic, and other people, which really touches me, ask me like, is your video, like if I'm late, is your video coming? Because my family, we sit around the table and we watch for your video before we go to bed. And that is just such an affirmation for me. It's so neat to know that people think and feel that way, and hopefully you know, carry it on into their lives too. It's a pretty cool ordeal. So that's where that all came from.
Well, a little kindness goes a long way.
Absolutely.
I have personally seen people or had people DM me and be like, dude, are you with Jinx? Is he going to do his video tonight? because we're at a cup or something, you know, and he's all late. It's 11:30 midnight. Finally does video, but 8, 9 o'clock, they're wanting it, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, sometimes it just rolls off my head. My dad was a guy who had a lot of those old school sayings, and like that's where a lot of them come from, or things I've heard, or just things I feel. But sometimes I get on that phone, I'm just like, what the hell am I going to say to all these people tonight? You know, sometimes it's harder than it seems, but I always seem to muster something up because there's always something to be positive about or thankful for.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I see a question, Duke, that you asked what program we use on the iPad. It's called Pro Quo to Go. And it's only available as an iProduct.
So, yeah, a lot of times with an iPad, we'll supply a gift card because the program is not cheap, and an iPad without the program really doesn't help. So,
Dung, you're on mute.
Yeah, I apologize. I was talking to Frenchy. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, the Pro Quo itself is $250. So any family that we give the iPad to, we definitely give the iCards. But also, if there's a verbal child and they still need help purchasing a tablet, we also provide tablets to special needs kids so that they can have learning apps. It's just the iPad is for the Pro Quo program.
Most of the money is raised through events or through auctions that we do on Instagram. Like I'll auction off a bunch of seeds, or sometimes somebody will send me something cool to auction, which I super appreciate. But the fact is, you don't, you know, if you want to participate, you don't have to wait for that. You can always just send in. Like she said, we've had people send in $2 to $5. You know what I mean? And you know, it all adds up. So you don't. Sometimes people actually write me in the like, if I donated $100, could I get 3 packs of seeds? And that's not a donation, that's a purchase.
Right.
It actually kind of offends me, to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? It's like, can I buy something and get some credit for doing something cool? Which, you know, that's not a donation, that's a purchase. So please don't do that.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely be doing some more auctions this week and throughout the stuff. I like to say, anybody out there got a cool product, you know, glass blowers, I've had companies, you know, one of those little lighter sticks, you know, it gets hot, like, you know, and you light your weed with it, or just all kind of random stuff. So, you know, always feel free. You can always DM me and Miss Rose as far as where to send it to. So, stuff like that.
And also we do have a PayPal link in my bio on Instagram if anyone wants to donate any dollar amount to the Northwest Family for Autism PayPal account, it leads you right into it. So that's always an option if you can help out.
So, but we're getting close to the end of the show here. Junior's in the background there, getting a little antsy. We gotta take some time and get him a little energy spent and do our thing. So I think that's pretty close to wrapping it up. Definitely wanted to thank everybody: Frenchy, Duke, Pedro, Dizzy, Rick. You guys all. Frenchy, I said that. All you guys that throw in your comments or just watch the show, we do appreciate it. And you got more questions, you can always DM me or Miss Rose or whatever. Dung Needle has a lot of the information too, so don't be shy. That's what makes school go round. So yeah, I just wanted to shout out and I appreciate you guys all showing up and checking this out. And I sure hope to see some of you at the Frenchy Cannoli event. That'd be really cool.
Yes, thank you all for holding our hands on the panel.
Dung's fired. Yeah, I fired myself. No, I'll drop all the links that they're talking about into chat one more time for you guys, and then we have looks like there was my camera too. Anyways, hopefully you can still hear me.
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, all right. So I'll drop the links into chat, and then I will go ahead and make sure that you guys have all the information you need for the Eventbrite stuff as well.
Awesome.
All right, thank you everyone.
Oh, I'm freezing up. All right. Y'all have a good night.
Thanks for hanging out, folks.
Peace out.
Peace.